Okay, so just the other day, I went across something pretty crazy, and this is to do with the Genshin Impact voice actor situation. Now, this is something that I haven't covered in a little while. You probably almost forgot about this, but essentially, people over in the Genshin Impact community are not happy with Paimon's voice actor. If you don't know, Corina Boettger, or whatever her name is, essentially has been catching a lot of flack for a lot of the comments that she's made over on social media, for example, on Twitter, Blue Sky, and also TikTok. And essentially, what they've been doing is they've been going ahead and actually reposting a ton of really crazy tweets from some really crazy people. And people in the Genshin Impact community have had enough, and they want Corina gone. Now, is this going to happen? Probably not. You know, obviously Corina is a big part of Genshin Impact, and HoYoverse knows that as well, that if they do change the voice actor, there might be a big difference, and this could either affect it, negatively, or it could even affect it positively. We don't know, but it's kind of a toss-up of whether this is a good move to actually do. And essentially, I actually came across this post saying, for awareness, there's a petition going around for those unhappy with the Corina VA of Paimon. Now, obviously, people down in the comments saying those petitions do literally nothing except for give that website a bunch of hosts, a bunch of data from users from it that are too stupid to give out their actual personal information. It's a waste of time. What you need isn't a petition, but CN and JP communities, which again, yeah, this is the entire page, which is on change.org, which is kind of crazy. I mean, it's got 5,800 petition signatures. Now, obviously, will this do anything overall? No. But it does actually kind of, show you exactly how many people are not happy with this situation. Also, I find it extremely funny that someone signed their name off as Jacob Takanashi, which is one of the voice actors that kind of started off this entire thing whenever they went and attacked him. But essentially, they say this petition is for those who would like to see MiHoYo recast Paimon's English voice actress, in the game Genshin Impact. The current voice actress, Corina Boettger, has shown time and time again that she lacks any professionalism and does not have the game. Okay, I mean, I don't know if that's true. Or its player base and consumers in her best interest. Oh, okay, that makes sense. I ended that way too early. Furthermore, many people cite Paimon's voice among the top things that they would change in the game if they could, remarking how annoying and endearing she sounds, which, yeah, obviously doesn't help the case. Obviously, we've covered many videos in the past, if you guys want to go back through them, of the stuff that Corina has done. But, I think it's, one thing that people kind of forget about is the fact that people just don't like the voice anyway, so they're going to have a very negative bias, I think, against Corina, due to the fact that she has a extremely annoying voice, and, well, it just kind of happens to work perfectly that she's also they're also a pretty scummy person, kind of online, and as an actual, person behind the voice. Now, they say Paimon has already been recast once in the past. Many people believe her past iteration to be better and more enjoyable to listen to, and then the current voice performed by Corina Boettger. Let's make this happen. So again, as I said, 5,800 verified signatures. That is quite a lot, and obviously, as people say in the comments, it doesn't actually really do anything in the long term. It's not like MiHoYo are going to see this and go, wow, okay, that's pretty crazy. Anyways, let's, hire a new voice actor. That's not going to happen. But I think one person is very clear there in the comments on the Reddit post saying that, hey, we don't just need a petition, but we need people from the CN and JP communities to actually go ahead and, kind of talk about this, because that is where MiHoYo gets things done, and I definitely do think this is a very valid point, which I don't think many people brought up. It's the fact that, the Chinese community have such a massive say whenever it comes to voice actors in the game, and whenever it comes to, what is going on within the game, that essentially, they are the people that are going to make the change. They've done it before with a lot of other things in the past with Genshin Impact, and they could do it again. Now, I don't know how it's going to work, especially seeing as this is the English voice actor, so it wouldn't really make sense to see why Chinese people would care about the fact, that the English voice acting is bad, because they're going to be using the CN voice acting anyways. So I don't see how, that's really going to make sense. But if we did want to make an actual change and wanted to get a better voice actor in, the Chinese community will probably be the best bet in terms of trying to get the point across. And I hope that a lot of people do spread it over to the Chinese community, whether it's on Bilibili or other sites like that, so that the people can actually share it, whether that, and I'm not even saying maybe even Chinese creators or Chinese users need to go ahead and do it. All that people really need to do is go ahead and translate a lot of the posts and upload them from a lot of us, for example, a lot of the Western audience, and hopefully people in China will see that and kind of rally behind, people wanting that change over in the West, because it's not just a thing that is happening in the West, it's happening for the entire game, but at the same time, it's a change that mainly the West want. They say, do people think that they'll actually replace Corina? No petition has ever worked in this community because people don't know how to organize, which I definitely do think is true. The Genshin Impact community is quite big, and also some of them are quite childish in terms of personalities, I'm going to be honest. So again, they're pretty terrible at organizing and just kind of getting a group of people together to actually, you know, make a proper change, which, yeah, I think that is especially why people are saying this is a waste of time. You know, Hoyo has no reason to care unless the amount of money they'll lose from paying customers leaving specifically because of Corina outweighs the cost of replacing her, which just isn't going to happen. They say you want to replace Corina just because you don't like her as a person. They say all that VA drama did ruin the Ian Paimon voice for me. Whenever I hear her voice now, all I can think about is Corina ranting next to the toilet. I can only play in JP now, which is entirely valid, you know. I think the amount of unprofessionalism that's been going on online has been crazy. And, you know, we're not just saying that, you know, Corina should be kicked due to the fact of, like, oh, they're not a nice person. That isn't the case. It's more so the fact of a lot of the actions that they've done online. For example, harassing Jacob Takahashi, or Takahashi, whatever you want to call him. For example, yeah, just going after him for literally taking up a role despite being a scab herself and actually kind of, you know, accepting a lot of these job things, while also calling out people for accepting them, which is just like it's just so weird. And obviously that is one of the main reasons why people don't like her, alongside a lot of the kind of, you know, just abhorrent kind of TikToks that have been going around. I mean, we've all seen them, if like by the toilet kind of talking to people. I mean, if you really wanted a I don't think there is a worse way of kind of representing yourself online without going like over the line. Do you get what I mean? I mean, you know, just sat there talking to people while sat by the toilet is not a good way of kind of getting people on your side. It's kind of just like trying to, I guess, get pity, because obviously the reason why she's on the toilet was because, you know, she had she was saying that a lot of the drama and stuff coming from a lot of the I think it was Darkos88 videos were causing her stress and flaring up her kind of illnesses. But at the same time, I mean, all you need to do is just get offline. I mean, I think that's the main kind of point here. And I think a lot of voice actors have been really good in terms of, you know, staying offline. I mean, there's a couple that aren't as good, especially with Genshin Impact. But, you know, a lot of them have been very, very professional, especially for Honkai Star Rail, Wuthering Waves, you know, some of the other kind of games. They've been much more professional in terms of how they present themselves online. Whereas these voice actors, they just kind of do whatever they want. And it's getting, you know, it's becoming a bit of a problem. And especially with a lot of the blue sky reposts that we see of people like kind of claiming that like some of these people against the voice actors are alt-right. I mean, this is something that Corina is like actively reposting, like alt-right stuff, like saying that people are alt-right. It's just like, it's got nothing to do with that. No one cares about a political compass or whatever whenever it comes to voice acting. We just want a voice actor not be annoying online, and to actually kind of take accountability for some of their actions, and to, you know, just essentially just stay quiet. I mean, you know, that's all they had to do was stay quiet and just like, you know, they can fight for the strikes or whatever if they want in the background, but going after people and trying to attack them, well, that was the first wrong move that they made. And now, you know, obviously they're saying all of these kind of posts, all of these videos, and including this petition here, which is calling for them to leave. But yeah, that's essentially a little bit of an update that I just wanted to give you guys, because I thought it was quite funny that people were making like websites like this and, you know, trying to get people to sign up to it. But overall, it's a pretty crazy situation. I'll definitely keep you guys up to date if there's anything big going on in the community later on. But yeah, pretty crazy situation, and I'll see you guys in the next one. That's all. See ya.